Hello, my name is Hassan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast shorts. There's no co-host on these shorts episodes. These are now around 2 to 4 minute, sometimes as long as 6 to 10 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and even the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 2 to 4 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book. Even that business book your coworker won't stop raving about because it quote-unquote changed their life, but you can't see any difference in their leadership behavior. So how good could that author be? For those of you who are wondering what will happen when the totalitarians win, well, there's a simple place where you can look. Most science fiction is about the anxieties of the science fiction writer in the time that he or she happens to be in. But some of those anxieties are eternal and human and well-founded. Look, sometimes the bad guys win. Sometimes the good guys lose. And sometimes there is no satisfying denouement. Sometimes there is no karma, at least not on this side of the veil. Sometimes bureaucracies and bureaucrats get away with it. Sometimes rulers and people who are smarter than you are actually smarter than you. Sometimes justice is delayed and deferred. Sometimes it does not roll down the mountain like a river. And sometimes leaders just have to face that. Science fiction, particularly science fiction short stories by the great classic science fiction novelists who transcended the genre in the 20th century, wrestled, particularly in a post-World War II context, with the idea that maybe, just maybe, there was a problem deep in the heart of humanity that a government, a system, or even a nice set of words on a piece of paper could not solve. And maybe all of our technology would actually lead us to unlocking, or maybe the term is climbing, the Tower of Babel and reaching the pinnacle where we would replace God with ourselves, worship ourselves as an ideal, and meet, finally, our own destruction. Turns out that Hiroshima and Nagasaki scared the hell out of everyone. Look, leaders, read science fiction, but read it through the lens of the facts of human nature, the facts of human tendencies, and the facts of human behavior. Otherwise, it's really nothing more than just a lot of scary dystopian entertainment. And well, that's it for me. Thank you for listening to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast today. And now that you've made it this far, you should subscribe to the audio version of this show on all the major podcast players, including Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music, and everywhere else where podcasts are available. There's also a video version of our podcast on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the video version of this podcast on the Leadership Toolbox channel on YouTube. Just search for Leadership Toolbox and hit the subscribe button there on YouTube. And while you're doing that, leave a 5-star review if you like what we're doing here on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Just go below the player and hit 5 stars. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to help grow this show. And tell all your friends, of course, in leadership. By the way, if you don't like what we're doing here, well, you can always listen to another leadership show. There are several other good ones out there. At least that's what I've heard. All right. Well, that's it for me.